This I believe. Peter Wright.
You've seen them before, of course. You've been driving behind someone for the past 10 minutes. They are going 15 and a 40, and each second you spend behind the incredulously slow driver, the more frustrated you get with their miles per hour. Eventually you finally make it to your turn lane, and you put a face on who is driving so slowly in front of you. That makes sense. It was an old man. That was me. I will be completely honest, for most of my young adult life, I had little patience and hardly compassion for the elderly. The only encounters I ever usually had with them was when they were holding me up when I was driving, in line, or in some other public place, while I looked confused and shuffled around at a pedestrian pace. One typical Saturday, my best friend from home and I were working out at our local YMCA. It was a habit of ours to work out together, and in the small suburban community center, we usually exercised with an attitude that we owned the place. After all, we were two young men anxiously getting ready for the time of our lives at our respective universities. Compare that to the old fellow using the lateral pull-down machine that we were anxiously waiting for. He was completely bald and riddled with wrinkles. He wore ill-fitting khakis and a polo shirt, and while lifting the 3 pounds he had managed to load onto the machine, seemed to look utterly confused, as if he didn't know how he got there. Geezer, my friend, scoffed as we shifted our attention to another machine out of impatience. I can't really recall if it was that night or a few days later when I made my realization. Being a fanatic for military history, I was watching some World War II documentary on PBS or maybe the History Channel. The documentary showed interviews of the now decrepit veterans talking about how they enlisted at 17 and stormed the beaches of Normandy at 18. The old man from the gym came to mind, and it was that moment something occurred to me. That character I saw was not always a lost 79-year-old. No, he too was also once an 18-year-old who thought he was at the top of the world. He had ambitions, lofty goals, and anxiety about what the future held for him. He perhaps was married, or fought for our country, founded a business, or helped someone in a profound way greater than I ever have. I realized that day that the man before me was a person who lived a life as vivid and complex as mine, and likely, in the 60 or more years he spent on earth than me, probably accomplished more than I ever have. Most of us, if we live a long life, will probably make it to around 90. In the grand scheme of things, 90 years is not a long time at all, and most of us have already used 18 of them. We have 70 years of experience, love and loss, accomplishments, defeats, learning, growing, and aging ahead of us. Then, having grown so much as a person, most foolish 18-year-olds driving to the gym will see us as nothing but haggard pedestrians. So, I believe in slow miles per hour, in patience for those inhibited by time, in seeing the bigger story behind the older fellow. I believe in our elders.